Hi everyone. In this screencast, I'm going to be showing how you can add an activity to multiple contacts. So we always will start with a search to be able to do this. So I'm going to just use a search, advanced search. And in this scenario, let's say my team and I had done some door knocking and we wanted to be able to record an activity on those doors we knocked so that there's a timestamp as to when it was done and we can search them later. So to do that, the fastest way to do it, if you already have the list of folks in your database and you already know who you've door knocked, I'm going to just do a search, advanced search. And I had already previously created a group of folks that we door knocked. So I'm just going to look that up under groups and I'm just going to hit search. So once I have my results on this result screens of all the folks that I've door knocked, and we completed this list, so I'm just going to check all of them since we were able to hit every door. My team did awesome. I'm going to select all of them, and here is where you can go to actions. This is the area that you can do more with the results from your search, and there it is at the top, add an activity. Now, hopefully you've added the activities, any activities you needed. And in this case, I am going to mark that they were door knocked. And there's the door knocking. And here, notice it has everybody that's listed. So there's some choices to be made. And in this particular case, because I want to record and report on that I actually knocked on 22 separate doors for these 22 individuals, I want to select under the activity separation to create a separate activity for each contact so that each contact will show that they have their own activity of a door knock. So I selected the create separate activities for each contact. Maybe you have a campaign. In this case, we were doing some education around capitalism collapsing for an upcoming gathering. So I'm going to record it under that particular campaign. Now that's not necessary if you don't need to do that. And this happened yesterday, so I'm just going to go and put in the date. I could enter the time if it's needed, and I'm just going to mark completed. Now, since this is unique, I could put something in the subject line, but because the activity door knocking for me is plenty enough for me to search what I want, I'm not going to put anything in the subject line. But feel free to put what you'd like if you need a little bit more description. Otherwise, I don't have any more details here that I need. I'm just going to do this all at once and hit save. And that should then add those activities to everybody. And let's just verify that. Let's take a look at one of the contacts. I'm going to go and take a look at Candace here. And let me open this up in another container here, and here you'll see there's Candace and there's the activity, and if I click on activities I can there and see, yes, there it is, there's a door knocking activity. It was completed. Again, you can view, I didn't put any details in there, but if I view it, you can see I added it. There's the campaign, and it completed and the date, and that's done. So that's one way of adding an activity to multiple contacts. And you want to record individual activities, separate activities for each of those contacts so that you can actually count how many doors you've actually knocked. Now, let's say you can also do activities in a way where maybe you have a phone call. And for example, maybe for the contact that I'm responsible for, I want to have a phone call, and I'm not going to create an event for it because I do these calls all the time. So I'm going to create an activity called phone call, and I'm going to have folks that I'm responsible for, and I want to only count one phone call with all of them who were on the call, rather than, because it wasn't 4 separate phone calls, for example. So to do that kind of adding activity to multiple contacts, I'm going to do a search. Start from search. I'm going to go to search, advanced search, and because this is the search that works for me, and I'm going to go look for the contacts that I'm responsible for. And in PowerBase we have a special field under custom fields. And we have a staff responsible field that's in our constituent info individuals area. So in the staff responsible, I'm going to put my name so that I can pull up the contacts that I'm responsible for. So I'm going to enter my name and I'm going to click search. I just basically scroll to the bottom, or you can scroll to the top of the screen. And so I have 5 folks, and these are the 5 folks that I actually had on my call that we call and talk weekly. So I'm just going to grab all of them. They all showed up. I'm going to go to actions and I'm going to click add activity. So just like we did before. And here now I'm going to add my phone call, and there are the people. And in this case, because I really only want to count 1 phone call, that's all I really want to report on, that I had 1 phone call, but with these 5 people. So I'm going to select under activity separation, I'm going to select this other option called create 1 activity with all the contacts together. And here, yeah, maybe I'll put a subject. Maybe this one we decide to discuss food as we're thinking about that gathering. So I may put that in there, that was the main topic. Again, this is still maybe for my capitalism is collapsing kind of campaign. This happened earlier this week. So I'm going to record that as completed. I could obviously add more details, but I'm going to go ahead and just click save. And then we can take a look at what that activity looks like. So I'm going to go to, let's go to Veronica's record, and let's take a look at what that activity looks like in Veronica's record. So let me open up that contact record. So here's Veronica, and I'm going to go down to the activities. It's going to look slightly different. So notice here's the phone call, and notice it says there's other folks. There's with Casey and other 4 more folks. So if I view this, what's going to show, it's going to show all the people that were on that call, but there's really, it shows up in their record as well. But if you do a report on the activities, it's only going to report on the 1 phone call. So that's how that one works. It's a little bit different. So you want to be thoughtful about which activity, which option you want to use for the activity, if you want to create separate activities or if you just want 1 activity for all the folks that were part of that activity. And that's how you add an activity to multiple contacts in PowerBase.